of the LCS, SK's Fox stepped up to be your hero, your fantasy leader, so possibly also your worst enemy.
He's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he racked up 10 kills, 13 assists, 2 triple kills as Katarina for a total of 47 points in today's game against Gambit. Trevor, rejoice.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I had Febiven and I had Fox and then the rest of TSM. So my fantasy team is looking solid, still undefeated in our league.
I'm
just
so
saying.
mad about that.
It's a league where I don't think anyone really cares.
Oh, now you don't.
Nobody cares.
Now you don't. Now you don't.
Well,
You were telling me yesterday how sad you were that you weren't doing good versus Trevor.
that is true, but I have Björkson as my mid laner, so he will rack up about 200 points this week, and I'll be fine.
Well, besides that fantasy leader, we also saw a number of other stellar performances today, though. Here are your final OP5 for the Spring Split, and it is our fantasy leader first off, SK Fox, once again on Katarina. There were, I wouldn't say question marks, but he was coming into SK as a new player, and I think on several occasions he has proven to be dominant.
Fox has grown throughout the split. The opening few weeks, he simply wasn't carrying solo. The rest of his team was helping him pick up wins. But as the weeks rolled on and he played LeBlanc more and more and more, Fox was the man who was helping SK pick up those victories.
All right, and our second OP is MYM's Horo. Unfortunately, wasn't able to shine through in that very last game, but we gotta say he's been a shining light for MYM throughout the split, no matter what.
Yeah, he's been a real workhorse, even in losses, especially in today's games as well. He was putting up good numbers, trying his absolute best out of the jungle, and I don't think it really says the whole story of where MYM ended up.
No, and the crazy thing about Horo is, despite being on now the worst team in the LCS, he has the highest kill participation of anyone. Like, he's part of everything they do on this team. So I think Horo has been a great jungler for them, and I wouldn't mind seeing him coming back next split.
Yeah. Stress with the workhorse too soon, man. They got beat by a Hecarim. The next OP player we have is Febiven. 0 deaths in 2 games as LeBlanc. LeBlanc. We know how deadly he is on that champion, and sometimes he can't really close it out. I remember that game versus Unicorns of Love. It's hard to assassinate someone in the beginning of the split, but he was so dominant in these last 2 games.
And that's the fantastic thing, how he's adapted, and he's now become a real big carry on the likes of LeBlanc here, even in the late game, where earlier he was more, he just got like 1 kill, then he backed away, but now he's really stepped up. He beat Froggen in lane very convincingly as well today. He's looking so good for Fnatic, and he's definitely a contender for best mid laner in Europe.
And remember, he came from Challenger. Last season, he was in Challenger, comes straight into the LCS. He's got a lot more growth to go. Where's he going to end up at the end of summer?
All right, our next OP, I think the Fish Show had like a magic insight before because he called it Whirlib, making it into a P. We got to commend him on the Hecarim play today when Jax was open, making the plays all around the map.
And when it really matters, because Giants obviously had to win the games today to stay or at least have a chance to defend themselves here in the LCS. And Whirlib, this Hecarim pick was fantastic. It's the first time we see him do well on champion that's not Jax.
Yeah.
And that's been a big deal, because everyone would just ban Jax and Whirlib didn't really do anything. Now he has Hecarim for himself. That's really good and really good for Giants.
All right, and then the next one we have is Fnatic's Huni, top laner who's also done a thing or two on Hecarim, but throughout the split, bursting onto the scene and impressing us all around.
Oh yeah, I tried to do my best Huni impression when they were playing against Unicorns of Love. I don't think I did it justice, but this is a guy that loves to carry. He is the quintessential carry top laner in Europe. Not as impressive on tanks, but you know what? He just plays a Cho'Gath and he just noms you to death. So Fisher, you said I was going to say it. I didn't get a chance to today, but I'll make it up to you in playoffs.
I'm looking forward to that very much.
All right, well, of everyone on stage this week, one player really stood out in the home stretch with 11 kills, 11 assists, and 0 deaths this week in 2 games as LeBlanc. Our Week 9 MVP is none other than Fnatic's mid laner, Febiven. We touched on him already, singing his praises, absolutely deserving it. Also taking the risk, so to say, to join that Fnatic team. We were saying, how will that work out for him? He stepped up and made it happen.
Yeah, I definitely think so. You look at the Fnatic reconstruction at the beginning of the split. It was just Yellowstar, 2 unknown guys, an AD carry from Challenger that really hadn't made massive inroads into big popular teams. Febiven bails on H2K, joins Fnatic, and they play second in the split. This is a team that is consistently aggressive, and that actuyle plays into Febiven's playstyle. He likes to be in your face over and over and over.
Yeah, that is it for the playoffs, not the regular season here in Europe. The playoffs are just around the corner next week, but there's still some regular season action to be had over in North America as they will wrap up their spring split tomorrow, starting with a matchup between Gravity and Cloud9. Team 8 will face off against CLG, and they'll end the day with Team Impulse versus Dignitas. Seeing there TSM versus Ghost, and the next day there's also playing versus Cloud9, so you'll see your Bjergsen in action once again.
Always watching, man.
I'm also
Always judging him.
Always
Better
judging.
perform.
I'm also interested to see how well the NA guys perform. We were looking at some of the stats. Yellowstar is the only European player to qualify for every single postseason playoff out of Europe. There's a few of them in NA, including Dyrus, Wild Turtle, Link, I think is in there as well. Double Lifter. I don't know if Team Liquid are automatically in playoffs yet. But yeah, so in EU, there's one guy, and there's a couple of them in NA. So Yellowstar standing through the test of time.
Yeah, and the dream to make it to Worlds once again. In any case, set your alarms now because the games begin tomorrow morning at 8 p.m. Central European time. That is not morning, and noon Pacific. It seems just like yesterday that we started the 2015 season, but from us here in Berlin, the spring split is already coming to a close. I'd like to thank Stress for joining us. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, I had immense fun. Some great games.
Yeah, it has been a lot of fun, and be sure to tune into the Challenger Series playoffs that starts next Tuesday. We promise we will. And on behalf of myself, the Fish Show, Quickshot, and the entire European LCS team, thank you all for watching throughout this extra strength day, and we'll see you back here for the start of the